but you cannot kill the environment, because if you kill the environment, you kill everything. One-third of the Filipino depends on our natural resources. Sinong nagdudusa pag winawasak yung kalikasan? Sino? Yung mahihirap. That's the fact. The rich have air cons and all like this. Who suffers if you kill the environment? It's the poor. And whose duty is it to protect our people? It's the government. And when you make decisions based on business interests, you have shirked your responsibility. You have lost the moral ascendancy to rule the government, because to you, business and money is more important than the welfare of our people. So take it as that.
Together we are pleased to present the 2017 Psychology Prize to Gina Lopez of the Philippines.
Good evening. I want to thank Psychology for this honor of the award, and I would like to further applaud them for the work they've been doing for the past 26 years for our islands. What I'd like to do today in my acceptance speech is to share with you the learnings I've had, which started before I became cabinet minister and have just been further emphasized. And the most prominent of which is that I have realized deeply that no matter how much, why am I getting emotional? I'm not supposed to get emotional. Okay, no matter how much money you have, no matter what intellectual theory, no matter what economic theory, no matter how many scientists you have, no matter what you have, if it's not based, maybe it's because you're so listening, that's why. Okay, if it's not based on a deep foundation of caring and empathy, it's just not going to work. We've done it, it's the key to genuine economic growth, which must result in social justice. The key and the foundation is love. That's what I really believe in. It's love. And so, since I can't work for the private sector and I can't work for government for a year, that's the law after being cabinet minister. So I decided to start my own organization, and this is called I Love. It stands for Investments in Loving Organizations, which means looking for partners. It's very similar to what Psychology is doing for village economies. It's building the country from the bottom up. But let me share with you my reflections on love. Love. Yes, love is not just a sentiment. It's actually really powerful. When I arrived in San Francisco and I saw a really long, an unusually long line for immigration, and then I opened up my phone and I started reading about Las Vegas, and I was just horrified. I said, my God, how can this happen? I mean, how can a guy kill so many people? And how can there be that, and wound 500? I was just totally horrified at the what's the word for it? At the evilness of that all. And inside, I am really getting emotional. And inside, and when I was standing there in immigration, I think my heart was asking, so what do we do? You know, when there's so much, when there's all this evil and when things happen like this. And you know what happened while I was studying in immigration? I had the profound experience of love. In the immigration, in the airport of San Francisco, I had this feeling of love, and it was not like a sentiment and emotion. It was like really powerful. It was a force. And I felt at that time that, you know, while reading the Las Vegas thing, that the force and the absolute power of love. And when I was standing there and walking after I got my luggage, I felt that it's such a powerful force. And I feel that force, the ability of that force, is the ability to connect. Like all of you here, you don't even live in islands, and yet you have helped Seacology for what, 25 years? I mean, the founders of Seacology are Ken and Paul. You don't even live in an island. I said, and they're doing this, and they've started this, and all the fellows and the board. I mean, why are you doing this? It's because you care, you know. Oh dear. It's because you care. And that caring, Paul, which you have had 25 years ago, which was supported by Ken, has resulted in what? In 25 years? My God, it's like 59 countries and millions of hectares. And Dwayne, you are one with your staff of 8. And you're doing this. What is it that makes you do what you do? What is it which makes you successful? And I have no doubt in my mind, it's a sincerity of love, of caring. I mean, name it what you will name it, but it's the genuineness and the sincerity of caring. And that's very, very powerful. And even in the midst of what happened in Las Vegas and 9/11 or whatever, I do feel that sentiment, and no, it's more than a sentiment, that force of love is what's going to connect all of us and the planet, and we will win. We will win. So let me talk to you about my reflections on love. Love is not love if there's no integrity, if there's no transparency. If you lie, if you're duplicitous, it just isn't love. If you ruin what God has given us, you can't say that's love, especially in a country like the Philippines, where 1/3 of the Filipinos depend on our natural resources. If our natural resources are destroyed, 1/3 of us suffer. How can you call that love? If you can't work together, you can't call that love. And I come from a business family, so of course I believe in business. But it can't be money for money's sake. It has to be, you have to earn money with decency, and there has to be a sharing, pay it forward. And I have put these pillars as the foundation of I Love, and I'm going to show you some very few slides of how it has worked. This is in Sorsogon. It's a surfing camp, and it was just a beach before with really nice waves, and they're out of school youth. We put in 656,000 pesos, and in 7 months they hit 1.9, almost double what we've more than double of what we put in, and the salaries are 811. So what we do, the standard operating procedure, which I have done in all the areas, is we don't give any money unless they commit to values. Values is critical, like critical. I tell the farmers, if you're just going to drink and smoke, I'm not going to help you. Okay, the money is for the child and it's for the family. And you know King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. So actually, before we even help them, we have an Earth Warrior training, and where we have military drills, like a real Earth Warrior training. And at the end, we knight them, like they kneel down, and like Knights of the Round Table, you kneel down, and then we have an arnis, which is like a Filipino bamboo martial arts thing, and we tell them with honor and with courage, be an Earth Warrior, and they take it on. And the very fact of committing to values over and above the money is what makes the project successful. I have no doubt about it. Look at this. This is in the Yolanda area, where we had the worst storm surge in the history of the planet. I put in 1.7 million, and we did the same thing. We asked them to commit to values. And in less than a year, they did double whatever we put them. I mean, I'm doing better than business groups. And the salaries are 677. I mean, I have data like this, but in the interest of time, I'll just show you a few. This is again Sorsogon, and I'm really, really happy you're doing mangroves, because in the country, the mangroves, the islands with the mangroves suffered 80% less damage. So the fact of ecology going mangroves is just an excellent, excellent direction. So I put in 522,000, and in 6 months, they hit 1.2. And the salaries are 484. This is the last one I'm going to show you, because I only put in 250,000. This was a river with fireflies and gorgeous, gorgeous fireflies. And in 2010, they win gold. The best ecotourism site, not in the Philippines, the best ecotourism site in Asia. And the fishermen there are now earning 10,000 pesos a week. That's corporate wages, and they only work 3 hours at night. That's crazy. And they have 1 million pesos in the bank, and that's what it is all. It's all about love. And what I'd like to do with the money, that the ecology money, which in the Philippines is not a small amount, is kick ass a few other islands. And I'm very happy that the founders are going to be coming over, and we will let you visit these islands. I'm really happy that Dwayne is going to visit. He's going to be in Anilao, and the area where Dwayne is actually the center of marine biodiversity in the planet. That's in the Philippines. And I stopped the gold mining there, but yes, I'm gonna bring Dwayne there, and let's see what happens. Okay, so lastly, I want to, over and above the love bit, I also want to let you be aware that in your efforts to save the islands, you're doing much, much more than just helping people there. Because, for example, in the Philippines, the biodiversity that's in the Philippines, 70% of that is unique to us. In environmental language, they say it's endemic. If the biodiversity can be found there and only there, it's endemic. Now, in the world, the country with the highest endemicity per unit area is the Philippines. We have the highest endemicity per unit area. So by your helping our islands, you're doing much, much more. You're actually helping yourselves, because 51% of cancer cures come from shells. And the center of marine biodiversity is in the country. And I'm going to show you one last slide. Because one medicinal plant can rake in, and this is conservative, I was told, $25 million yearly. But look what happens in the Philippines. I got this data when I was cabinet secretary. These are all endemic. Nata de coco, patented by Japan. Ampalaya, under vitamin A-rich vegetable, patented by America. Ampalaya mixed with eggplant as a cure for diabetics. It's patented by New Jersey. Philippine Nutri, cancer-curing substance, patented by University of Philadelphia. Ilang Ilang, source of perfume, now owned by Yves Saint Laurent. Philippine sea snail, 1,000 times more powerful than morphine, wherein it can address the pain without the side effects, is now purchased by Elan Corp of Iceland. I mean, the list goes on, and it's what they call the resource curse. It's that the islands have the resource curse, but the islanders are not benefiting from that. And from my perception is that each islander, each person there that is not able to discover or realize their full potential is a piece of the economic pie and a piece of the potential of the planet left untouched. So when you are helping our islands and helping the islanders there, it's not just a philanthropic thing, it's also addressing the integratedness of life. And at the end of the day, we live in this planet, and when you help a component and a segment of the planet, it eventually comes back to the total whole. So I want to thank you all, Paul, for having that. What island did you live in that made you think of this? Samoa. Thank God you stayed there. And I want to thank Ken for helping, and all the wonderful board. Keep on donating. And the fellows, your money is being put to good use, and I'm elated that the founders of Seacology are going to come and visit the Philippines. I'm going to end by relating to you what I was very much impressed with, something which Mark Zuckerberg, I listened to his speech in Harvard, in his commencement speech, and I was so impressed. He said that we millennials, it's not just about us finding purpose. We don't just want money, we want purpose. And he said it's not just about us finding purpose, it's about the world finding purpose. I found that so beautiful. And and when I was listening to the speech, and I said, that's what this is all about, it's finding purpose. Now, how can you find purpose if you don't have an environment which can nurture your soul? Clean air, clean water. How can you not find purpose? I mean, how can you find purpose if you live in a world of hatred? I mean, peace and harmony and love is critical to finding purpose in life. And I applaud Seacology for having started 25 years ago, and I give you my firm commitment. I will work together with you and together with the board, and we will all of us, we will continue to work together. If we don't work together physically, at least our hearts are joined together, and it is the fact of all of our hearts joined together in love, and we will together make this country and make this world, this planet, a much, much better place to live in. I love you all. Thank you.